Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on. Let me run this real quick. My friend Apollo put that together for me. Thank you again, Apollo. Um, Alternative news. And that's kind of what we do here, alternative news, alternative talk. By alternative, we cover stories that you're not going to find on most mainstream media in a 1 hour program. And we talk about things that others don't always talk about. Um, and we show some things. We have some fun. Wednesday night's now going to be game night. We play some games. Thursdays, we have people with us. Occasionally on Monday, we'll have an interview, but not tonight. Got a ton of new stuff as we look back. This has been a pivotal weekend um, in a lot of ways, and we'll get into that. But first I'm going to. Hey, good evening, watching people win or fail. Hello, Shelly G, and hello to you, Bree Way. Um, before I get into the first, before I get into the first little bit here, um, CKM Music, and CKM has allowed us to use his music often on this show, and we take advantage of that. Some good stuff. CKM Music has now started a live channel. Um, he's had his music channel for a while. It's CKM Music. That's the name of the channel, and he started uh, a live chat. I guess is I guess it would be considered a chat formatted channel, panel formatted channel, possibly. I don't know. Um, but I wanted to mention it and wish him luck. He's trying to do a totally freedom of speech channel, um, and wish him well. I won't be in the chat over there. I'll be watching, lurking occasionally, but I won't be in the chat, and that's no disrespect to CKM. It's just that um, I'm old school, I guess. I'm not a mod, never been a mod, and everybody over there's mods. I understand why. Um, just personal choice. I just not going to be a part of that. I will watch it on occasion, as I said, and mean no disrespect. It's just personal preference. I've never been a mod. Don't want to be a mod, and I get the point. Everybody's a mod. That means nobody's a mod. That's theoretically that's great. Practically, everybody runs their own channel their own way. And as I said, I wish him nothing but success. And check it out, CKM Music, just getting started. And I really hope it works because um, the only way, or in my opinion, the best way uh, to not be at war with each other is to keep talking to each other. So I hope he can get it done. And I thank all of you for being here. We've got some people here now. And I do appreciate all of you being here. Um, with that being said, I'm going to start out with a little bit of comedy. This is from a guy named Pat Paulson, and this was recorded in 1968, um, and he was running a mock campaign for president, and I just found what he had to say very um, very apropos to what what I just mentioned, by the way, the fact that, CKM's trying to start an all freedom of speech channel, and more power to him. Uh, and but yet here is an example of an attitude an attitude in America that he was making fun of with sarcasm. See how much of it rings true with you. As I said, uh, Pat Paulson from 1968. He was running a fake campaign, a mock campaign for president, based out of the Smothers Brothers television show. Um, so, what do you think? Censorship. Um, Hello to everybody that's just joined. Thank you for popping on here. Let's see. There's Telescope, Pam from Customer Service, Sandy Foster, G Abbott's Basement. Hello to all of you. Thank you all for being here. And Lynn Smith. Hello to Lynn Smith. Thank you all. Everybody in the chat, thank you. Everybody watching not in the chat, thank you as well. Italian Princess is here. Um, Telescope was trying to save Italian Princess in some video games. And Telly will be back soon. Taking a little sabbatical. And there's nothing wrong with a little sabbatical as long as you're economically prepared for it and it's not something YouTube forces you to do. Okay. Um, let's see. Let's do one other non-news, non-news thing before we get into a whole bunch of stuff that has happened this past weekend. Another video. My buddy Melvis, guest on the show, friend of the show, will be back on the show. Melvis turned me onto this video. Going to play just a couple of minutes of this. I just realized I will probably get copyright struck from the music, not the video. So you watching live may be the only ones that see that. Hopefully that's not the case. But anyway, El Esperayo Ciberanio, One-Headed Drumming, Volume 1. I was going to play a little bit more than just 49 seconds, but, I can, if I have to cut it out, I can cut out the 49 seconds relatively quickly, or they can cut it out. Anyway, what you saw, if you're a musician, what you just saw was extraordinary to say the least. My friend Melvis is a drummer. He's been a drummer for, probably 55 years now, maybe. And I asked him if he could do any of that stuff. Of course he can't. And he's an awesome freaking drummer. I asked him if he could do it in his prime, and maybe the kicks. The dude's got the fastest right hand I've ever seen on any drummer. It's incredible. So check him out if you're a musician. And we do that kind of stuff on here too. Hey there, Lori Arnold. How are you? Happy belated birthday to the one and only Rainbow Unicorn. Hot Mess Summer. Hello, Max Flower. Okay, Max Flower got timed out when Telly didn't somewhere. It just shows you how off things are. All right, let's look at the headlines from mainstream media. to kind of get us into what we're going to be talking about. A lot of stuff. White homeowner accused of shooting a black teen who went to the wrong house. This was in Kansas City. The young man you see here in the band photo, it's a video that I'm not going to play. Young man went to the home of an 80-plus-year-old white man. He went and rang the doorbell. He was at the wrong house. He was a block, if I'm remembering correctly, he was a block away from the house he was supposed to be at. He was there to pick his siblings up, and the white man shot him. And the white man has now been arrested. Originally, he was taken into custody and released. He has since been arrested and has 2 felony charges. The New York Times, the FBI arrests 2 on charges tied to Chinese police outpost in Manhattan. You can find this on all mainstream, I imagine, so I'm not going to get into it too much. I will just say the basics of it, because I mentioned this. I mentioned this last, I don't know, sometime either probably about a year ago around this time, sometime in the late spring, early summer, that there was a report that there was a Chinese police station in Chinatown. It turns out that it was above a noodle joint, a ramen noodle joint in Chinatown, and 2 Americans and I think 34 members of the Chinese military police, basically. The office had been set up under the auspice that it was there to help Chinese Americans with things like maintaining their Chinese driver's license in case they wanted to go back to the mainland, things like that, when actuality it was about spying, and spying predominantly, it appears, on Chinese Americans. And you can find that on all kinds of mainstream. Dadeville, Alabama, mass shooting. What we know today, after 4 were killed and 32 injured at an Alabama Sweet 16 birthday party. The BBC News, DeSantis floats the idea of a state prison near Disney Park. DeSantis and Disney and I guess much of the ultra far right wing and Disney have been battling. From Akron Beacon Journal, grand jury says no charges for the Akron officers who shot Jalen Walker. And AP News, that's Associated Press, not Anarchy Princess. The news says Fox News Dominion libel case is set to begin after a brief delay. So that's what's happening in the mainstream, as far as what they consider breaking mainstream headlines on the 17th day of April, 2023, 10:18 p.m. It is Doofus After Dark, alternative news, talk, and kibitzing. A lot of stuff happened this past weekend. And there's not a lot of rhyme or reason to some things. I mentioned I was up till 4:00 in the morning Saturday, and I didn't even do a show. Well, I did. I did a brief impromptu show Friday night and Saturday night. You can go back and check those out. I was up because there were there were so many things going on. This massacre at a 16 sweet 16 birthday party. Um, Reports were initially coming in that, and I didn't, obviously I didn't go on live or anything. Um, Reports were coming in as, up to you know uh, over a dozen dead, and thankfully the number of those killed was less than anticipated. The number wounded was more than anticipated. 30 people wounded and 4 dead at this Sweet 16 birthday party. The shooter is still at large, and I had a report. Only it wasn't confirmed, but that there might have been another shooter. I don't believe that to be the case. I don't think we'll learn that that is the case. But that was just one of the things that was happening Saturday night. And let's go to our Twitter bookmark here. Um, I'm going to hop back over to the chat after this Twitter bookmark scroll, and we begin in Los Angeles, Compton. Large mob of primarily black youth caught on video looting a gas station, stealing thousands of dollars worth of merchandise. Basically, they took over much of what is the city of Compton. Hundreds of teens in the streets. That wasn't the only place it happened. Downtown Chicago, and I'm not going to show much of this because it is violent. Optics matter, and this picture. This is a white woman who was trying to get into her building. She's grabbed by the hair and and beaten. There's no other way to put it. And it's also the city of Detroit this past weekend. Not like what happened in Chicago. And again, there are multiple videos of all of these incidents. This is just a quick reminder of what the streets look like after a weekend like that. That was from Detroit. Underground rapper Joey, known as JXXYY, has been arrested on 2 counts of second-degree murder with a firearm, being held at the Providence, Rhode Island Corrections Department till his trial on the 6th of June. We had, again, we had the shooting at the Sweet 16th birthday celebration in downtown Dadesville, Alabama. Over 30 people injured and 4 dead. 6 people were shot in Chickasaw Park in Louisville, Kentucky, 9 p.m. on Saturday. I need to talk about this for a second, okay? I'm showing you all this stuff because there are things you can't condone. No matter what community is perpetrating things, you can't be honest and be in a journalistic position. and not call things as they are. Um, and there are a lot of troubling things going on as you're seeing. Detroit was the least this past weekend. Kansas City, a kid gets shot in the head because he's at the wrong. He is a block away from where he should be. Hundreds and literally hundreds of primarily black youth taking over the downtown streets of Chicago. Hundreds of youth taking over Compton. Um, Something's happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. Now we go back to Louisville. Louisville on its own. My gosh, Monday, we woke up last week with a mass shooting in Louisville. We end the week with a mass shooting in Louisville. And I got to point out the way these two shootings were covered were incredibly different. Okay. The mass shooting at the beginning of the week was at a bank, and it involved a white shooter and white people. And there was a whole bunch of attention for a lot of days on that. You probably didn't know unless you watch my channel or you watch online. And that's why, that's why a news channel, people ask me, why you do a news channel? We need an alternative news channel online. We need some place where, because people are turning away from TV and they're getting their entertainment online. And are you going to watch the same news online that you're turning away from on TV? No, not if you find alternatives. And that's why we do what we do here. Now, back to, sorry about the tangent. I also do that. Back to the start of the week, shooting at a bank. Ending the week, shooting in a park. Start of the week, white people victims, white people shooter, drew a whole bunch of attention. End of the week, you probably didn't hear about it unless you were watching my channel, you were watching Summer, or you were watching some other place online. People were killed in the park were black. The shooter was black. And while it was like, oh my gosh, how devastating the shooting on Monday was, on Saturday it was the same thing as it always is. It was, well, the black community is prone to violence, and statistics show that most, you know how it is. And then you have what happened in Chicago, and you have what happened in Compton, and I wrote a book. Okay, I wrote this book right here. And in this book, I talk about all this stuff. This is how you would bring down America. If you're a greedy freaking two or four or six oligarchy and you want to bring it all down, you want to get rid of democracy, I wrote a book about it. And it's scary. Some of the stuff I've written in the book is happening, including starting violence in cities slowly at first and then escalating. And a list of cities. Yeah. Buy the book. Available on Amazon if nowhere else. Or you can send me an email, americandufus@gmail.com, and we'll get you an autographed copy if you so desire. Anyway, 2 were killed, another in critical condition. And again, this, I'm not citing this guy as a reporter. He's an investigative journalist. He's got the wrong facts. There were only 4, thankfully, killed in Alabama, but nonetheless. And then 2 were shot at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. 3 police officers were shot, 3 killed and 1 other critically wounded. This was in Minnesota. There were 2 kids shot in Chicago as well. But you see, and there were other shootings. a lot of other shootings Saturday night, but they don't qualify as mass shootings unless there are so many dead and so many others wounded, and you can't count the shooter um, in some of the statistics. There are three different groups primarily. So, well, they lie with the statistics. They don't show the whole picture with the statistics. They use the statistics that best fit the narrative. Problem is now you can't hide all of this, and you can't manipulate the statistics when everybody can see that we got incredibly major problems. I don't have the answers. We started talking about it in an episode. Um, and obviously, I'm continuing to talk about it. I'm continuing to point out what's going on. Let's just take a let's. We're done with. No, we don't. No, I'm sorry. I've got one more thing. Um, whoops. Don't want to be showing any guns. My apologies, YouTube. That was an accident. I do want to show this one final story. Jeffrey Epstein's victim, Sarah Ransom, aims to publish videos of the VIPs who sexually harassed underage children. Remember that name, Sarah Ransom. This comes from Express UK, from the Daily Mail. And she was one of his victims and will soon be exposing Epstein's notorious operations. So, something I wanted to draw your attention to in case you were so inclined to note that name and follow that. I wanted to give us a quick look at what CNN has. CNN has prosecutors say race was a factor in the case of a white man accused of shooting a black 16-year-old who went to the wrong house to pick up his brothers. His name's Ralph Yarl. GoFundMe raised over $2 million so far. Grand jury declines to. We talked about that. All four young victims killed at an Alabama Sweet 16 party identified. Again, the assailant is still on the loose. Pair of best friends, a gifted athlete and a college hopeful, were among the victims. A rookie officer ran towards semi-automatic gunfire because it was his job. As gun violence reaches record levels in the U.S., an underlying trauma may be building up. Again, no mention of what happened in Louisville on Saturday night. It was on there Saturday, in all fairness, but in all fairness as well, what happened Monday lasted in the news a whole lot longer. Just saying. Take of that what you will, whatever that may be. So, back over here. I'm over here chat for a minute. The only country in the world with daily mass shootings, max, yes, which also has by far the most guns, is not the only country in the world where people have mental health issues. That's true. And of course, I've talked about on Science Tuesdays before that as if the magnetic pole does indeed weaken, that cosmic rays coming in, radiation coming in, has impacts on our electrical systems, primarily our hearts and our brains. And is that adding is that adding to an escalating and violence that's escalating at, I don't know if alarming is even a strong enough word as how fast it appears anyway. And it's not mainstream jacking it up. It's I'm showing you the stories, and I haven't even got to the world stuff yet. Um, something's happening. Something's happening here. Or where people play video games, listen to hip hop, or less religious than they used to be. Um, yeah, there are other countries that do play video games. They do listen to hip hop, and a lot of countries are less religious than they used to be. Hi, sassy pants, and thank you, Max, for those serious contributions. I love seeing serious stuff. I want chat to I want chat to be chat, and whatever that is, that's what it is. But I love seeing serious conversation and um, serious engagement. Um, let's see. Do I have? Okay. Um, I do. Okay. All right. Hang on just a second, if you would, please. Um, okay. There we go. I want to play just a couple of moments of Ford Fisher. Ford was live earlier tonight in Nashville, Tennessee at the Again, this is a rally for gun control in the Tennessee State House, and um, our friend Ford Fisher from News to Share is the one responsible for that content. And go over there, check it out if you so desire, and you want to see what happened throughout the night. He was on for about an hour, I guess, hour and a half maybe. And of course, subscribe, like, share, all of that. Um, they're trying to do something in Tennessee. They're trying to do something about guns in Tennessee. Will that be um, will that set a precedent? Will that be happening in other places, or will will this will this just be um, our future? Or are we just going to spiral and escalating in violence? I know there are people that would love that. Um, but that is just, I don't know, beyond reason uh, to me personally. Oh, she really needs to take a step back for her mental well-being. Yeah, I'm afraid so, Summer. I'm afraid so. Um, however, Mike Lindell, he says it's end times. He goes berserk fearing artificial intelligence and voting machines. I'm concerned about artificial intelligence. Voting machines isn't where my personal concern lies, but um, from Raw's story, Michael Cohen sounds the alarm about what will happen to Trump's critics if he's ever elected again. Representative Jim Jordan was in New York on Monday claiming that he sought to get to the bottom of violent crime in New York City. However, New York isn't the place with the highest violent crime in the U.S. Hold on a second. Hit the wrong thing. Stop. There we go. It is one of just 2 counties in America where the district attorney is conducting an investigation that could cost Donald Trump a lot in the end. Michael Cohen explained that when Jordan announced his so-called weaponization in government panel, he was hopeful he would see a reckoning for some of the unethical, impossible, even illegal things that happened to him at the hands of Trump's Justice Department. Instead, Cohen said, "It's been a joke. I think it's a waste of time, a waste of New York taxpayers' dollars," said about the field hearing. Okay, he's not talking about the charges on Trump. He's talking about what a congressman from Ohio is doing in New York City. All right. Cohen, of course, calls it a political stunt, and he's already been to prison for Trump, by the way, and he's not going to go back this time. He decided he was going to testify. Pentagon officials co-author a paper suggesting alien intelligence behind UFO sightings. Again, we talked about this last week that Senate subcommittee is going to be called to have an open discussion about UFOs, unidentified flying objects. Why is Marjorie Taylor Greene defending the Pentagon leak suspect? A lot of people want to know that, including people in her own party. That's out of the Desert News. U.S. stages drills, U.S. and our allies, South Korea and Japan, as North Korea warns of a security crisis. And they have already said that, they feel like if necessary, they will use offensive nuclear weapons. Like I said, a lot of stuff happened this weekend, not only here, but around the world. And you're not going to hear about a lot of this. I'm just giving you things to think about. I'm not telling you how to interpret. I'm leaving all of that. I'm leaving it up to you. The UK and Germany intercept 3 Russian fighter jets near NATO airspace. Russian President Vladimir Putin confesses he is facing serious challenges 1 year after invading Ukraine, meaning there's a lot of pressure for him to win this and win it quickly. This comes from Bloomberg. The Pentagon calls harvests classified document distribution list after an intelligence leak. So the Pentagon has started looking at who distributed the information. All right. Somebody gets caught like something like that in your Discord, just about guarantee that your whole gaming clan will be probably going to prison. Maybe not as long as you, if you are the one that leaks such information, but nonetheless, it's not going to end well for any of those young people that happened to be part of that group. Thug Shaker Central, I think, was the name of the I believe now defunct Discord channel. Trump faces wave of bad news in the Mar-a-Lago probe. So much so that one Fox person suggested that he could Donald Trump could do serious crime or serious time because this is a serious crime. More evidence has emerged in recent days that Special Counsel Jack Smith's investigation into the Mar-a-Lago document scandal presents a real threat to the former President Trump. Um, I don't want to take a survey. Thank you very nice. Per multiple reports, Trump attorney Evan Corcoran had recused himself from the Mar-a-Lago investigation after a federal judge compelled him to testify in Smith's investigation. U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell for the District of Columbia, serving as Chief Judge for D.C., found that probable cause for a crime likely existed, allowing prosecutors to pierce the attorney-client privilege between Corcoran and Trump, set up a situation where Corcoran, who had also represented Trump in the January 6th investigation, offered testimony potentially adverse, that's a good legal term, to the interests of his client. That's largely because, clicked one too many. That's largely because of the reportedly key role that Corcoran played in the months leading up to the explosive August 2022 FBI search of Mar-a-Lago. So we'll see. While the New York City first time a president had been indicted, he called it signing in, as we mentioned in the other episode, in a previous episode. He didn't say he was arrested. He said he was signed in, and the cops and everybody in the courthouse was crying. No corroboration from anyone other than Don Jr., who wasn't there. So we go back to the Associated Press, AP, and I didn't want to do that. Hold on. Here we go. U.S. sails warship through the Taiwan Strait after China's drills. The United States sailed a warship through the Taiwan Strait in its first known transit since China carried out an encirclement exercise around self-ruled Taiwan. U.S. 7th Fleet said the transit through the strait by the USS Millennium on Sunday was routine. The cruisers transited through a corridor in the strait that is beyond the territorial sea of any coastal state. So, saying that United States stayed in international waters, they didn't cross over into Taiwan's waters or mainland China's waters. That was not the case with China's drills. They did indeed violate the Taiwanese territory, and said to be intended as a serious warning to pro-independence politicians on the self-governing island and their foreign supporters, that being us. Now, if the encirclement wasn't enough, I got one more thing here. If the encirclement wasn't enough, this is our wrap up. China's going to hold, this comes from Bloomberg, China is going to hold a major military activity tomorrow, later on today, their time, or probably going on now, their time. Chinese military plans to conduct major military activities in the Yellow Sea. The country's maritime agency said, without elaborating on the nature. The exercises will take place from 9 a.m. to noon on Tuesday, and they've warned mariners against entering waters off the coast of Shandong province, an area is the site of the frequent military drills and well away from the territory of the U.S. regional security. So they don't want whatever they're doing it far away from Taiwan and from the United States. Um, so that is our news. That is our look at what's going on around the country, around the world, in under an hour, and did it under 50 minutes, and that included some less than a minute, but a good enough time. Good enough amount of time. I hope that you saw what an incredible drummer that one dude was at the start of this, and how Pat Paulson has showed us that maybe things haven't changed, um, going all the way back to 1968. So, oh, her poor dog is outside barking to get back in. Who's that? Sandy? Um, oh, okay. Y'all are talking about somebody else. All right, that's fine. That's fine. I really don't have any. Normally, I have like some kind of humorous thing at the end. That's fine, Summer. No need to. No need to apologize. That's that's the thing. That's why I have mods. I mentioned CKM. I'll mention him again. CKM Music started a channel. Well, he's had a channel, um, but he started, I guess, streaming a chat slash panel, um, total freedom of speech platform, and want to wish him a bunch of luck. I hope he's incredibly successful with it. Um, and they have everybody's a mod. And like I said, I get the concept. Anyway, the the mods I have um, protect the channel because I get going like I just did. I get going on story after story after story. I'm not paying any attention to what's going on in chat. That's why the mods are so imperative on my channel. And I'm so grateful for the mods I have. I've met um, probably half of my mods I know personally. So, you know, and the others have been with me a while now. So most of the others have been with me a while. Anyway, that's my thing on mods. I'm good with the mods I have, and I'd rather them overprotect the channel. And I hope you all understand that, especially when I've got two strikes against me, um, which means you're targeted. I'm not sure why, but it does, and you just got to be careful with it. My stream gets reviewed manually, not by AI. How do I know that? Because just about every episode, there's something, after a manual review, we found this little 20-second thing. And it'll be the 49-second thing of the dude playing somebody else's music. If the music he was playing with wasn't on there, it's just him doing the incredible stuff he was doing, um, it'd have been okay. And I didn't think about it. So I hope that doesn't bring me down. Um, as for the CKM experiment, so many people want to hear themselves talk. The topics are not keeping my attention. Um, that's one possible outcome. Um, Okay, that's fine, Sable. Um, I know you do. I know you do, Breeway, and and I thank you for it. I hope you're not out of here, Sable. Hope you'll come back, and thank you for being here. But um, thank you. That's the purpose, and I try to keep it relatively short, so that people that watch, especially when now when I'm going to be doing more 10 o'clock shows, people that are already in bed on the East Coast can watch in the morning or at their convenience, and um, seem to get really annoyed. Um, I I don't know. How could you get annoyed at what somebody else is doing on their channel? I mean, unless it's a personal affront to you. Um, what somebody does on their own channel is their own business, and it's a big old internet, So no, I'm not. I wish CKM luck. I wish him success. Um, well, I understand that, Sable, and I I only have to stay calm and level headed for an hour. I scream and yell at when I see stuff that I don't agree with. I just don't do it online. But thank you. I appreciate that. Um, I miss G Abbott's whole, if you go crickets, she will trip. Oh, okay. You guys are talking about somebody else. Um, Now, see, Sassy says she enjoyed CKM's channel. It was interesting. So, yeah, every channel is not for everybody. And uh, as far as getting upset because somebody's watching somebody's channel, I understand. We get, as people with channels, we get like, oh my gosh, these, it's easy to go, oh, these are my people. Um, in actuality, they're people. Okay, they're not. They can, and especially if the people are left, or if you're right center to left center, you generally aren't a group thinker. You tend to want to find things out for yourself, and you tend to um, go where you want and watch what you want, and not be mandated by, oh, you can only watch a certain color channel, or a certain animal channel, or you can't watch um, it would make it a lot easier if we could all, and I'm including myself, if we could all remember that we can't control what anyone thinks of us. Um, so why worry about it? Um, it's hard because we all, most of us anyway, like to be accepted, like to, you know, be liked. But that just doesn't, there's no such thing as 100% of anything. And if you can get to 50-50, if you can get to where 50% of the people like you and 50% of the people hate you, you're probably going to be a successful politician. Okay, I've got 2 minutes left. I'm going to shut it off right at an hour, and we're at 58, 10:58. So I'm going to go to 11 o'clock. I'll pitch the book again. America, Land of the Greed, Home of the Grave. It's the name of the book. Um, it's available. You can get it on Amazon. Ask your favorite bookstore if they have it. They can order it if they don't. Um, or you can get an autographed copy if you so desire. Or you can just get a copy from me. I'll just send it to you without the autograph. Just email me and we'll. Uh, oh, Lord, you'd be surprised, darling. Just because you and I fell in love doesn't mean that everybody's going to fall in love with either one of us. And no, we have not, before anybody asks, um, we have not been talking about our potential road trip. Um, but if we do the road trip, it will start off at Salvation Speedway and end up at Damnation Drive-In. So both are covered. Sam Singe, Baldy Banks, Damnation Drive-In. If you haven't seen it, go there. Uh, I spent I spent the biggest part of Saturday nights impromptu live talking about Sam and Baldy and buggy races and uh, why I called in the show the first time, things like. And if you want to call in the show, um, it is High Demon. I think it's 855. I don't remember the number. Somebody, it is TNT in here. Somebody will remember the number. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, I love hearts to Baldy. There's Cunning Stunt, the stunning one. Thank you for being here. Um, Somebody dropped the phone number just in case you don't have it to call in. There we go. Thank you, Lori Arnold. Channel owners are like the government, and the chat needs to remember neither the government or their neighbor can tell them who to watch. Good point. Hi, Cindy. Sparky, we know you're watching. We love you. Yeah, I'm not. Uh, I have a whiff of what is going on with that, all of that, and I'm just going to say, not my circus, not my monkeys. Not even going to buy a bag of peanuts and watch. I'm distancing myself from all of that. Um, yeah. There's Mater. Hello, Mater. Hello, Julie. Tupelo. Again, thank you all for being here. And I'll be on tomorrow night. We'll do our Tuesday. Give you an idea what's coming the rest of the week. We'll do our Tuesday. Wednesday, Sam and Baldy's going to do Damnation Drive-In starting at 8 p.m. Um, they may have a from the projection booth through the week. You never know. So make sure you subscribe there and hit the notification so you know when they're on. Um, they'll be on at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be on shortly after they're done. We'll do game night on Wednesdays. And then Thursday, we might just have uh, the Platinum Girls themselves, the most fantastic duo of superheroes on the internet. Um, GA from CA and Cunning Stunt. We'll find out if they're back with us Thursday night or not. And if not, I'll have somebody else on. But that's what's coming tomorrow night. Um, look for the notification. It'll either be 9 or 10. Um, today's tax day, by the way. You've got 57 minutes to file your taxes if you have not yet done so, or file for an extension. And that's the reason I started a little bit late tonight, because um, I was supposed to do it on Thursday of last week and forgot all about it and remembered this morning. And you got to get everything together. You got to, but anyway. Um, so taxes are done, and you've got 56 minutes left to get yours done. And I hope you have, and I hope you all get money back. Um, Sorry, I won't say that. Think calling hell is scary. Um, it would be, Lynn, if you were actually calling hell, but you're calling Sam and Baldy. 855-443-3666. 855 Hi Demon. Thank you, Lori Arnold. Thank you, TNT. Took care of taxes in January. I should have done that, but I didn't have all my stuff yet. I had a couple of things I didn't have. My royalties, my royalties from my vast royalties from book sales and from Google Ads, Google advertising. Thank you to YouTube, um, and thank you to everybody that donates through Cashapp. Um, you guys, you keep me going. You enable me to keep doing this, and you probably don't believe that, but it is true. Um, and I love y'all. I thank you all, and I'm going to close out by saying we need to realize that the world we're in, the country we're in, if you're an American here in the United States, that it's on a path that I don't know if um, anybody can even slow down um, the spiral of violence and hate and anger. Um, but maybe if we all tried just a little bit, we can make a difference. I don't know. My my glass half full, as opposed to glass half empty. Um, I'm not like um, I'm not as I'm not as positive and hopeful as I used to be. Um, and this weekend, and all the stuff I've been talking about is a big part of that. I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned for for anything and everything kicking off. Young versus old, black communities, white communities, brown communities, um, the the Oriental communities, the Asian communities. Um, they're going to be targets after this Chinese cop thing, Chinese police station found in Manhattan. Um, and like I said, I did a thing on that, and it I thought it had closed. I thought that they found it and closed it, and then they announced today that it was a big deal that they were making these arrests, which but just potentially puts targets, because I saw it in the news chats. I saw comments, that um, ramen noodles aren't Chinese. Ramen noodle is Japanese food, and the reply was, "Who cares? You're all the same. Time we get rid of all of you. Where's my Second Amendment brothers?" That stuff, um, that stuff doesn't help. Okay, kind of stuff doesn't help. The We're getting to the point where false bravado. We're getting to the point where online threats. We're getting to the point where you got to take things seriously. Going to a park on a Saturday to celebrate, or going to the bank, or going to the supermarket, or wherever you may go, no matter where you're at, head on a swivel. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. And then tomorrow night, we're going to be talking science stuff and all the natural stuff that could happen, including there is a 50-foot hole off of the coast of Oregon in the ocean that's emitting some incredibly hot gas and liquid, not lava, but a big hole emitting something else from underneath the earth. And there's fear of triggering the Cascadia Fault, which would pretty much level everything from Vancouver down to just north of San Francisco. Aliens. We're having a legitimate Senate subcommittee hearing on UFOs. I did a story earlier, Pentagon saying aliens may be maybe why we're seeing these UFOs. Would that unite us? Would that unite America if it was an Independence Day, July 4th Independence Day movie thing with Will Smith and aliens are attacking? I don't even know if that would put us all together, even momentarily. That's how divided we seem to be. And instead of trying to figure out who's responsible and who to blame, maybe we ought to spend more time trying to figure out how to stop it, how to fix it. Then we'll worry about who to blame. Just something to think about. I love y'all. Namaste. Blessings be upon you. In the name of the Most High, His Son Christ Jesus, with the power of the Holy Spirit. Shalom, Salam, Assalamu Alaikum. Positive vibrations, peace, much love. We'll see you tomorrow night. American Doofus, Doofus After Dark. Love you.